Yes, good morning everybody. I hope you're having a good morning. We've come to the second day of the month. Today is 2nd of July. So we'll start off with the pair on our screen. This is Euro USD. Currently the price is approaching a major resistance. We have a resistance level here. The price went down, it came up to this point, then went down, and then as I'm speaking now the price is somehow approaching the same place. So this should be a very good place where we want to sell from. Remember last week, let's see which was the end of this. Last week, just a second. Remember last week the same place was used as a very good resistance. This was 29th of July. We had this is this week, sorry, should be this week. It was used as a resistance, and the price came down. As I'm speaking now, we are headed towards the same place, and previously the previous week we had this resistance. So there are only two places I'm waiting for a trade on this chart. I want price to either sell off from 1.12866, or the price needs to continue up to 1.1337. Those are the only two places where I want to sell, I want to trade from. So if the price comes to any of these levels, then this is going to be the correct place I want to trade from, either this level or the one at the very top. We also have a line at the bottom. This should be a good support for a buy, and a good support for a buy, and the take profit for a sell, which we are expecting to sell in the future. So we either wait and sell from this point, or if the price breaks above, the next best place to sell from is 1.1337. They're down. So the next chart we look at GBP USD. This one, GBP so far it's upwards. We are continuing to the upper side, and as it is now, we actually expect price to move forward up to the previous week's highest high, which is here. So far you can see exactly what has been happening. Like the price goes up, this is the beginning of the week, it goes up beginning of the week which ended around 12th of June. The price first went up to this point, then came and closed below. The next candle, the next week, the price opened where the other one closed, but ended up closing below. Then that other week, which was now last week, the price went up beginning of that week and ended up closing somehow below, slightly lower than where it closed previously. So as I'm speaking now, you can see that the price is headed back upwards. So this could be a sign, this could be like, it could give us a correct opportunity to look for a sell, maybe to the lower side. So the least we expect price to go up to is below the previous week's closing price. So if the price is to reverse downwards, then we are likely to see it break below the low of the previous low, the previous week's closing price. So because we had a high swing high here, this is the highest high, we have a lower high, we have a lower high, and this too is a lower high, which means the price may likely continue down up to this point, 1.22812. So the next chart we look at USD/JPY. This is how USD/JPY looks on the 1 hour. Possibly this is a sell, and the reason I'm saying this is because we had an impulsive wave from this point. The first wave, it moved up, and then there was a correction, it continued up, and then there was a correction before it continued up. So as I'm speaking now, you can see that the move we are seeing to the lower side is actually just some correction. I mean, it's a corrective wave, which means the price may correct itself even up to where it started from, the previous impulsive wave where it started from. So this is like a correction, and what it means is the price may likely proceed down up to this point, 106.8 223. So this is what I'm talking about. This is why I'm expecting a sell on this one. We had a previous impulsive wave. As I'm speaking now, the price is correcting itself to the lower side. So we do expect further correction to the lower side. We expect price to actually go up to this point. First of all, it should hit 106.868, where if it breaks below, we expect it to continue up to 106.223. So the next chart we look at is SP500. SP500, we are upwards. Somehow we are upwards. I'll look at it from the 30 minutes chart, where I am able to see exactly if there are any good shapes. We have that. Then you also have one from the bottom. Then we have this here, and then we have another one from the top. So the reason I'm drawing this is not because I actually trade them. No, I do trade them sometimes, but not all the time. I'm doing them here to tell me exactly whatever is happening. So you can see that there's this big move up. There's some consolidation here, which I've not drawn. It continued up, then there were some consolidations there. It continued up, there are some consolidations here, and we do expect price to proceed to the upper side. So the shapes which I've just drawn here simply indicate that we are still upwards. We have this level. This was a good level yesterday. This was the best place anyone could have taken a trade. So we expect a move upwards up to this resistance, 3152.8. Expect price to proceed even higher up to this level, 3152.8. So the next chart we look at, this is gold. We expected a continuation to the upper side. Somehow gold has pulled back up to the opening of the previous week's candle, the closing price. So we do expect more corrections on this chart. We expect price to correct itself up to this point. We expect it to come back up to this resistance. This is the key resistance where the price needs to reverse from. So this is the place where we want price to pull back up to. If gold can successfully correct itself up to this point, then this should be the ideal place where we want to trade from. We want to look for a good buy from. So simply have a pending buy limit with a stop loss below this point. Expect that when the price gets there, it should reverse to the upper side. The next chart we look at is Brent oil. So this is consolidating, but we are upwards. We are consolidating on this chart, but the overall trend is upwards. We have price remain within this range. There's a move up, so we do expect a correction before we continue to the upper side. So this will be the ideal place where we want to look for a buy from. We have this as a resistance here, and then we have this as a support. So if the price can successfully break above the upper trend line, we'll wait for retracement before we continue up to 49.584. So thank you very much. That should be the end of today's session. If you have any questions, kindly feel free to post them for me on the chat option. I should respond to them as fast as possible. So thank you. We'll see you again tomorrow.